What's going on, everybody? Big D coming at you with another great interview tonight. I am excited for the show tonight and to talk to this guy. We had a great time with him last month when he was on the Tuesday night show with Brandy and I, and I'm glad to bring him on to learn more about himself, the brand, the story behind the brand. So I'm really looking forward to it. But before we get started, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It's free. I'm bringing you all this great content for free, so please smash that like button for me. It helps out, gets the algorithm going, so more people can find the channel as well, and we can continue to grow and have more amazing and great guests like our guest tonight. Also, make sure you use the link tree that's pinned in the comment section on YouTube or down in the description on LinkedIn and Facebook, and support my advertiser sponsors and preferred retail partners. They all help continue to keep the programming going on the show, and your support goes a long way in making sure that we continue to have that greatness going. So whether you're looking for sticks, you're looking for accessories, I've got you covered every which way and sideways on that. Use the exclusive promo codes that are only available to my viewers out there to save yourself some coinage. I'm here. I care about you. I'm a man of the people. So use those promo codes. Save yourself some coinage. Get yourself some great sticks. Get yourself some great accessories to go along with it. Tonight, my guest, if you're in the DMV area, he has one of the premier mobile lounges. He's probably rolling up to your event if you've got something going on. Dapper Cigar Mobile Lounge is the name of his mobile lounge. He also has kind of his own house stick, but it's also a brand that's available in also a few retail shops out there called Trilogy Cigars. We love the Maduro stick on Tuesday night, and I'm glad to have him on because I'm really interested in wanting to learn more about the brand. And of course, you know me, the stories behind how the brand came apart is the big part of the enjoyment in the cigar for me, especially if there's history added into it as well. But without further ado, we bring on our guest tonight, from the owner of Trilogy Cigar and Dapper Cigar Mobile Lounge, Mr. Uche Obua. Welcome, sir.
Hey, what's happening? Good evening. How are you?
I am doing great. Thank you for coming on tonight, man.
Hey, thank you
Excited
for
to talk.
inviting me.
That's great. So, while I get my stick lit up here, I'll hand it over to you to introduce yourself and give a little bit of information to the people out there about yourself and the brand.
Perfect. So I'm Uche Obua, as he said. This is Tribal Trilogy by Dapper Cigar, and I have a mobile cigar lounge as well. Well, a mobile cigar lounge line. We are called Dapper Cigar Lounge. We're a mobile cigar lounge. We have two trailers that we converted into actual lounges. They are the first one has 8 theater style seats, two big screen TVs, refrigerator, freezer, stove, bathroom. This one is more kind of like a basement. So it's more cozy, football games, basketball games, just want to kick back and chill. And then we have a bigger one that we just bought, which is 32 foot that seats 13 people, big screen TV in front, marble inside, wood finish. That one has 8 bucket seats and 2 benches. We use that more for weddings, bachelor parties, ride-alongs. We do baby showers. I mean, you name it, we do it. That's just the inside. When the weather's good, everybody knows DMV. We probably have good weather from give or take April till about November. We also do outside setups. We have tents and things that we put up, high top chairs, and we also set the ambiance outside with theater style seats as well. Um, started the business in 2001. No, sorry, 2021. Right before COVID hit, I decided that I wanted to start my own cigar lounge. COVID hit, they shut down all the doors. Everybody had to stay inside, stay 6 feet under, 6 feet apart. And so I just I brainstormed and I said, well, I can't do a brick and mortar right now because I'm not going to get any approval. What exactly could I do to actually still allow people to enjoy a cigar outside of their home? So I went to a few trailer shows. And they were a little bit too expensive. They were, anywhere from 100 to 200 grand. I'm like, I don't have that type of money. So I shot on Facebook Marketplace, visited a couple different people who were selling them, and I fell in love with this Passport toy trailer. So the back goes down. And the couple who owned it used to ride Harley, so they ride Harleys together. So during COVID, I made it my project. I took everything out, gutted it out, and piece by piece, put the floor in, put the walls in, through a I went through 4 or 5 different styles of chairs before I figured out the ones that I wanted to go inside: white, gray, black, big, small. And I wanted it to be cozy for all sizes. So I have enough that can fit a person that's 50 pounds and a person who's 450 pounds comfortably. And then I threw the TVs in. And at that point, I was really just targeting wineries and like beer fest. And right after that, COVID lifted about a year later, and I started doing, all types of events. Like I said, weddings, bachelor parties. I did an event for a president at a community college where she just wanted to have something back at her house. So we just pulled the line. And normally what we do is we either come to you at a location, we come to your house, pull right into your driveway or along the front, or pull into your community center. If you don't have a place, I can find you a place. You just say, "Hey, Uche, you know what? I want to be in this central location. I'll find something beautiful for you," and we create the vibe. Um, During COVID, I wasn't getting as much business as I wanted, so I reached out to a couple cigar rollers in the area. One guy named Neil with Up Top Cigars. He gracefully enough, he pulled me and he showed me how to roll cigars. And because I wanted to actually add something to our experience. So that went pretty well. I learned how to roll cigars with him. I was doing a lot of events with him. I'm a salesman for his brand. So for about a year, I was selling his brand. And then I said, "Hey, you know what? Um, like, you have a cigar lounge. I mean, you're selling everybody's cigars. Most cigar lounges have a house stick. In addition to, I'm buying, like, that's going into my bottom line. I'm buying all these cigars for these events. I'm like, hey, I need to cut my bottom line and get my own thing. So that's actually how Tribal Trilogy was born. Out of, working with Neil, learning how to roll, running through his business with the sales and realizing that, hey, you know what, this is a good thing, and I think I need to add a stick to the Dapper Cigar Lounge. So that's how we were born.
Yeah, very good. And so you've got three cigars in the portfolio that, and of course, if you missed the Tuesday show that Uchi was on last month, go back and check it out. It's
That's all right.
available. And we loved it. It was delicious. And so now I've got the Habano going with me right now, and I'm a huge fan of Habano. And
Perfect.
so far,
Awesome. Awesome.
yeah.
So this is the one we smoked on the Tuesday show. This is San Andreas wrapper. So this is our Maduro. That's called the Coma. And then we have the medium, which is another Habano Claro, and that is called the Obodo. So that's and then the one that we both are smoking is the Ubaji, which is a torpedo, and that's a Habano red, so a little bit of spicy, and that's our mild plus stick.
So, did you use the context that you kind of had made working in sales with Up Top to help expand out and to get your own kind of house stick line, as we say? Can't really call them a house stick now because it is available in some retail shops in the area. So it's kind of outgrown the house stick name for it as it's its own brand.
You're absolutely right. So yeah, so what I did was the partnerships that I made with working through Up Top with some of the shops. I've already had the partnerships with the owners and a couple people who smoke. So with them knowing, basically with them knowing that Up Top was a good product, they did not hesitate to allow me to bring my product in and try it out. Of course, nobody's gonna blindly say, "Hey, Uche, okay, I know you have one, two, three good sticks. The fourth one could be bad." So, of course, I did the knock door. I did the knock door thing. I went up to each one of the owners, dropped off sample packs, came back in about 2 weeks. If I had enough time, I'd sit down and smoke with them or people in the lounge because I really wanted good, clean, negative or positive feedback. Hey, what's the stick like? What's going on? How do you like my band? And as you can see, we have apparel, we have hats, we have shirts, and we actually have a hashtag. It's choose my tribe, which goes along with the whole tribal trilogy brand.
Dude, the bands are dope, man. But
Appreciate it. I appreciate
I
it.
am, I love the bands. It's really different and unique, and really going with adding to royalty within the cigar on there. You're like, okay, so I got a king on here. So, but it smokes like a king. Let me tell you, it is
I
so
appreciate it.
good. So I'm taking that when the names that you chose plus the kings on the band have are symbolic to your heritage.
Yeah. So my name Uche is God's will in Nigerian. And what ends up happening is when you meet a Nigerian, when you hear about Nigeria, there are three tribes. There is a Hausa tribe, a Yoruba tribe, and a Igbo tribe. But the thing about my dad's tribe is they stepped away from the Igbo tribe and started their own. So we're called the Ekwe tribe from River State, Nigeria. So these masks actually represent kings and princes within my tribe. The big earrings. If you look at the ukoma, so ukoma in our language is called strong man. So I picked that for this one because of course the king is normally a strong man, very representative, and then you know there's a lot of jewelry and things and that different colors that we like to bring out in vibrant. So I wrapped all of that into an idea, went through different masks, and I said, you know what, this one is it because this tribe doesn't have a color. So that's why we choose my tribe because we want everybody who smoke. We're a tribe when we smoke. So we want everybody who smokes the cigar. You have now become part of the tribe for smoking the cigar. Um, and when I finally finished the first one, I was like, man, this thing is great. The colors, the black and gold, of course, gold is royalty. The black is just fully because of the color of the land. Um, and then with the Prince, the Obodo, oh yeah, so that one's the Ukoma.
Yes, that
You can see the
it's
royalty
so
in blue.
dope. It's dope, man. Like I love it. Like literally, I would get that. I'd get that put onto a poster and hang it up in the lounge here just because it just looks so good. Like
I appreciate it.
I did the artwork on the bands. Like it really, if I'm a person, because we know there are people out there that pick cigars just based upon who has the coolest looking band. Like I would immediately gravitate towards that and go, man, that band's cool. I got to pick this up and try it.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And then with the Obodo, as you can see, let me take the plastic off cello so you can see a little bit better. So here's the Obodo that he has. So this one really represents more of a prince warrior. Of course, back in the day, kings would stay at home, and then the princes and the warriors would actually go out and fight. So there was a civil war in Nigeria. So this represents the princes and the kids of the house who went out and actually fought in the civil war to basically get that tribe on the map. So the word obodo is community and city. So the reason why I picked that is because you know you bring together a community when you're smoking a cigar. So again, like with me giving you that cigar, now it's in the 505 community, it's in the Maryland community, it's in the DMV community, and somebody's gonna say, hey, like, what does this obodo mean? So when you Google obodo, it's going to take you to River State, Nigeria. And that right there is already educating more people on my actual tribe. So it digs deeper than just the mass. So that's why I chose that one. And then the colors, I just wanted fluorescent colors, and I wanted colors. I didn't want to use the green and white for Nigeria, so I blended them. So that's where the bluish turquoise color came from. And then the last one that we're smoking, the Ubaji, um, in Nigeria, in Ekwe, Ubaji means roots. It means roots and blackness. So what happens is this was actually the first cigar, the Torpedo and the Habano was the first one that I came up with. This is the first blend that, you know, I said, hey, this is exactly what I want. So this was the root of the tribal trilogy. So that's where that name came from. And the color really comes. My fraternity um is crimson and cream. So you see a little bit of crimson cream in there, but at the same time, I lightened it up so it could go, sit very well on the Habano wrapper. So that's where those ones came from.
It just looks so good.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It does out there.
Yep.
And
Then we have
it's
one more that I'm going to sneak in there for you. I'm going to send this to you now. I haven't sent it to you yet.
okay.
So, so if you look at this one, this is the Prince again, but it's actually on a Robusto. And this one is called Omeleche. And then Omeleche means beauty. Because I mean, un, out of the cell, I mean, like you said, I mean, it's a beautiful stick and it's a beautiful band. So I just wanted to add that to the trilogy. Um, so that one hasn't hit the stores yet, but I want to send that out to you so you can check it out. But that's in the makings as well. So it's
And
3+1.
it is. And so is it the same blend or okay, so
Totally
it
different.
is
So
it's a
it's
totally different thing. Okay.
Yeah, so it has some Mexican leaf in there. It has some Nicaraguan leaf, and then it has a squirrel wrapper. So you're gonna be
You don't have to tell me it's a skirl. A skirl's my girl right there.
Mm.
Like I tell people, look, Cameroon, it's my wife. No, always there. But if I get that you up text from a skirl, I gotta go. She just knows I gotta go take care of some business. I gotta go do it. Gotta go do it. You already sold. You don't have to say nothing. You already sold me on that. Yeah. I'm comparing my notes right now from smoking this Habano to smoking the Maduro that we smoked on that Tuesday night show. Um, very good, night and day difference on the cigar, and it definitely hits like I want a Habano wrappered cigar to hit. Like I'm picking up on the flavors on the Habano that I want, and then what's hitting on the inside, the fillers on this, banging, banging on these fillers. I love it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for joining in on the show, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, the inside, the guts on this are fantastic on it. How long did it go? Did you go with the blending process on this? That you're like, man, were you looking for something specific on this, or were you just kind of wanting to get something close to what you thought you wanted?
Nope. So this is actually Gomez Cigars. He actually exceeded my expectations. What I was looking for was a torpedo, not too big, not too small. Of course, my favorite wrapper is actually Habano wrapper. So for this one and the second cigar, I wanted two different shades of the Habano wrapper. Um, when I visited DR, for me, DR leaf is a little bit drier. From my understanding, is because of the climate. Um, so I actually wanted to go with fully Nicaraguan, because it's a little bit more aromatic. It's a little bit smoother pull, and it's not as dry of a stick. So I also wanted not a mild stick where it's like, very flat. I wanted the flavors. I mean, I wanted it to change. I wanted a little bit of spice. I wanted it to be pretty, of course. So I gave that. We worked through the process. Picked some leaf, and again, a benefit of rolling cigars was in my hands. I've already touched certain leaf. I try. For me, Connecticut is hard to roll. It rips very easily. If you burn it the wrong way, it looks totally burnt. So I didn't want to stick that you char it and somebody says, oh, that's a trashy stick. So these are all things that when I was deciding how I wanted this to come to fruition, that I was putting into. So he exceeded my expectations when the final product actually came, that I picked this one. Um, when I smoked it, it was the middle of, I think, like October, and I'm just like, I don't really think I was hoping that it was going to be consistent. I smoked the whole 10, and every last one is exactly the same, because there's two old ladies who actually roll these cigars. So it's not different shifts, so these two old ladies use the same blend and roll the cigars every single day. So you're going to get the same exact smoke each time you smoke it. Well, of course, you don't get the same smoke every time you smoke it, because you might pull a different note than you normally do, or whatever you're pairing it
you,
with, you might
you
get
get that
something different.
consistency in
Right.
every cigar. Yeah, and I think that's important out there is the consistency on that. But I agree, and like I have no ill will against Dominican tobacco. Okay, no ill will on it, but it does tend for my palate to be a bit more on the milder side, and they're not big on more of the pepper and spice side from the Dominican, so they tend to go on the more traditional Cuban route than Nicaragua and Honduras does out there on it. And so my preference is Nicaraguan on there, but doesn't mean that the Dominican cigars are bad. It's just they tend to be a bit more on the lighter side. I want, when I'm feeling I want some oomph in a stick, I don't go to a Dominican. I don't. Go on that. Yeah. Oh, Tim, the man, the myth, the legend, Tim, the cigarologist. Good to see you, man. Good to have you here.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. We have swag. We got swag too.
On it. So now you've got your foot on the ground and the brand itself is running. You've got those stores. You've got not only in your own mobile lounge, but you've got them in stores. Where you're at now, are you exceeding expectations? You're not quite where you want to be, or are you at where you think you should be?
So honestly, I'm gonna tell you, I'm actually exceeding my expectations. November the cigar debuted. Of course, that's right around a little bit after Thanksgiving. So we're now in mid March. I'm in 7+ stores in the DMV. I have been interviewed by you twice. I've been on two other outlets. So for me, being a small business, a boutique cigar just coming out, I really feel like I can keep going. I feel like, there's doors that I've knocked at that, I'm not getting responses. There's doors that I've knocked at that told me, hey, you know what? We don't really like your cigar. But the people who like the cigar, they love the cigar. So that myself, like, if I was to stay in these 7 stores, I'm telling you, like, I'm replenishing stores every 2 weeks. So the cigar is selling. Because at the beginning it's like, hey, you know what? I'm part of GTG. I'm our Brandywine chapter. So we support our own. So the first couple cigars, you're like, you know what? GTG's big in this area. We have about 6 chapters in the DMV area. They're gonna support me. They're gonna run behind me. After that, you should start kind of seeing the sales trickle, because it's like, hey, I supported Uche, good stick, but let me move on. But people are buying. I mean, I had a guy. I'm at a shop down in Luxby, Maryland. Um, I went to him. You know, we smoked. He said he was going to put the cigar in his store, and before he put it on the shelves, he called me like, "Hey, Uche, let me show you." He FaceTimed me. He showed me the Acoma, and he's like, "Hey, like, look what I got." I'm like, "Yeah, no, I dropped them off." He's like, "No, a customer came in and gave me this stick and told me that I need to try this stick, and I haven't even put the sticks out." So it's like the word is moving, and the tribe is getting bigger. So honestly, like, and then even with take the cigars out, the logos, the apparel, like everybody, like the guy just said, I mean, the logo is great. So like it's really exceeded for me. It's really given me a vision of how far I could go just these 3 months. So if I've been hitting the ground running these 3 months and I haven't even been able to give it my all, because of course I have a full-time job and a family, um I'm happy. I'm happy where it's going. I'm happy where I'm currently at. I don't think I'm behind. To be honest, I actually just I reached out to my blender to make another order. So I mean 3 months I mean he's looking at me like, hey, I mean, I thought you were talking about April, May. I'm like, well, I'm ready, like I'm running
Yeah.
very low, you know. So like for me to be able to do that before it's getting to busy season, like for me with the Dapper Cigar Lounge, I'm busy April to November, December because of wedding season, wine fest, beer fest, and things like that. So for me to actually nearly sell half my product, which I would call my slowest quarter, I'm so happy, man. Like I
Hell
just
yeah.
can't imagine what the summer's gonna look like.
All right, so there we got a great question there from Chris. Sampler packs, they available for purchase?
Yeah, so we have sample packs. We do the sample packs of 5. So you'll get 4 of the line and then you'll get one additional. You can get that put the order in through dappercigarlounge.com or follow me on tribal underscore trilogy underscore DC by DC and just DM me. We mail. If you're in the DMV area, we drop them off. Like I said, we're in a couple shops as well. But the website, the Wix website, apparently now you can't roll tobacco through. So we used to do orders through the website, but you just go on the website and you actually can send me an email with your order or DM me. But we do have sample packs and we also curate a pack. So if you say, hey, you know what, I want 2 Ukoma, 2 Obodo, and 1 Ubaji, or all 5 such and such. Like, I mean, we personalize every single one, even with our boxes. If you get a box, these boxes are personalized for each customer. So um even if you don't like the cigar, I'm quite sure you'll like the merch. But yes, we have sample.
I, I, I look. I dig the cigar. I,
Thank you,
I'm,
thank you.
I'm. This is now my second one I've smoked, and I'm through that first third. It's a banger. Like, and the retro on this thing. Ooh,
Yeah,
ooh.
yeah.
If you don't like a slap you in the face retro, probably not for you. But it's so good though. Even as heavy as that retro is, like it packs a punch and it's flavorful. It's very good. I like it. I like it a lot on
Thank you.
that. So now that you're mastering the DMV area, you look at it maybe expanding down to like Charlotte, Atlanta, Dallas, Houston. These
Yeah, so
other kind of big markets that are really into boutique and small brands.
I'm right with you. So I'm now, like you said, I'm moving my way down the line, north and south. So I've reached out to a few cigar lounges in North Carolina. Possibly going to be a sponsor at Charleston Smokeout, which is in South Carolina. I'm going to visit in May. Going to visit Atlanta and hit up a couple of their cigar lounges. I reached out to Delaware, which is right north of us, Pennsylvania, because they have a great Philly Cigar Week.
Yes.
Um, I may stop going north on the East Coast. I may stop around Jersey because with New York, Massachusetts, their taxes so high that a lot of them don't want to sell my cigar because If you go to my website, you're gonna catch the cigar for $12. There's no way they can sell a cigar for $12 in those states because of the taxes. So if anything, I will be shipping to those areas, but not selling in those lounges. But you know, the goal for the second quarter is to definitely touch at least Georgia. And like you said, I mean, I'm gonna tap into the big ones. Houston, Texas, and with being part of Black Box, hopefully, that'll hit me in the Chicago and the Midwest, and your followers. So honestly, I really hope to be shipping across the nation, but within this next quarter, getting into about my goal is another 2 to 3 lounges. I don't want to bite off more than I could chew, but I also don't want to shortchange myself. But at
Sure.
least getting into 1, 2 lounges in those states. Because what happened, I reached out to another cigar vendor, and he's kind of like, take care of home first, which I really feel like I've really covered, this Southern Maryland area. I'm originally from Baltimore, so what's up, Stefan? Um, I'm really from Baltimore, so I've reached out. I have some plugs over there. I've dropped off some packs, talked to some cigar lounges. Right now, what I'm hitting up against is PCA, of course, everybody. So I think they're trying to hold their breath, save their money to see what PCA is going with. But PCA will come and go. So, as soon as they're done with making them $1 million orders, I'll hit them back up around Mayish, and just say, hey, what's going on with that stick? So yeah, I'm definitely looking to expand on the East Coast.
So am I going to be expecting to see Tribal Trilogy in my next black box coming up here pretty soon? And when I get a
Yeah,
subscription box?
I don't know when to tell you it's coming, but it's coming. I don't know
That's
the
good.
drop date.
I'm good. I love it. I love it. I love hearing that, man. Black Box to me has been one of the best monthly cigar boxes I have ever purchased into. The amount of brands that I have been exposed to, and I'm a guy who's deep into the small brand boutique world. I've even gotten exposed to brands that I've never even heard of before, and I love it. Um, I love finding these new brands and reaching out to these brands. I'm like, man, what you did is fantastic. I want to talk to you. Like it's been so great having that as an asset out there. Is that and these brands are so slept on, that I'm like, man, we really need, really more people should be involved and get the box because you're missing out, man. You're missing out. So and that'll be another retail shop you'll also be available in too, is the Black Box store, correct?
Yes, yes.
Ah, you see, now I'm just gonna start pushing people over to the Black Box store to go buy because easy, quick, simple, easy, and Danley will take good care of you. Trust me, he'll take good care of you, especially if you name drop me when you place your order.
I got you.
uh,
Yeah,
that's
they
great.
definitely I work with him, of course, with Up Top with a few of our cigars, and I reached out to him, and what really had me reach out to him one day was I watched one of I think I watched yours with I think his line is like Lion of Heart, maybe
Oh, Heart of a Lion. Yeah,
Heart of the
Sharon.
Lion. I watched that one, and I saw how much you were talking about Black Box and how much it actually helped him out. And I'm like, wait, man, like, why haven't I called Dantley yet? Because I had his number. I had his number because, of course, Dory and Creole Sweetheart, they met him down in Tampa Cigar Week a few years ago, and they talked and vibed. So I had his number. So I reached out to him like, hey, let me send you these sticks to try them out because I know you have a big reach in the cigar community. And like you said, I mean, some places I knock at the door, of course I'm a boutique, so they're not gonna mess with me. But I think Danley, anybody who reaches out to him who has a decent stick, he gives them a chance. And I appreciate that. I just was on their show last week, Unboxed. We had a great time. We had a great time, Stefani. Love James and Dantley. So I really appreciate the love that they gave me and the shout outs.
Yes, and yeah, I've made recommendations to Danley and then he hits me back how much he like loves like some of these sticks I recommend to him, and I'm just like, oh, good. I'm glad you like it because I like it. He's like, yeah, it's so good. I had to bring them into the store. That's how I mean. It's like I'm probably gonna smoke most of them instead of sell them. But I'm like, well, good. They're good sticks. That's why I recommended them to you, man. Yeah. No, that's good. I'm glad. I'm glad to see that you're going to be in with Black Box. That's huge, and that's great. And then that expansion, um, that expansion into especially moving into kind of the South, that Charlotte, the Charlotte, the Atlanta area, which it's huge, and they're big on a lot of the small brands out there, and they have a lot of success, and so I think that it's good, and plus you know having Dory in your corner is probably one of the that's you can't ask for a better person out there. She's one of the smartest, most knowledgeable people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's great. It's great. It's also, I have, recommendations right up front. There's things that I'll bounce off of her. Of course, you don't always want to hear, what she has to say, but I know. I mean, like I said, I don't tell people. For me, I feel like I'm a novice, so I need. I need the coaching. So when she's like, hey, you know what? No, that doesn't look good. Like I was making a t-shirt and I had something like on the right side and she's like, put it on the bottom. And I'm like, no, like I had in my head, this is what I want, but I gotta listen to her because she knows the consumer, she knows the customer, she knows the market. So I'm thankful for that. God bless me to have that right in next door. And I only have to pay her with love. I don't have to pay her any consultation fees unless it's a steak at Roof Crisp.
Yes, there she is. Yeah, yeah,
Hey.
she's one of the most knowledgeable people out there. No, just knows her shit inside and out. Just not tobacco, but also, like you said, that consumer side, what people are looking for, and I think that's such a huge bonus to have backing you in that. Is that if she tells you that she likes it, and she tells everybody that she knows that she likes it, people are gonna be like, yeah, we gotta try this because she knows her shit. I mean, it's plain and simple. I've gotten turned on to um, quite a few cigars from just her, just either her posts or her talking about certain cigars, and I trust what she says. So if she says it to me, that's good enough for me. I don't need any other coaching. I don't need anybody to say, well, maybe no. It came from her. Trust me. Yeah, you may think you know a lot. You don't know as much as she does. Trust me. All right, trust me. I know a lot. I don't know as much as she does.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's such a good person to have in your corner there.
absolutely.
Mm. This stick is so good.
I appreciate it.
It's
Appreciate
so good. Do you think that you took the time to learn how to roll? You think that helped with your understanding of what you wanted in a cigar when you were going into the manufacturing phase on that okay, I know how to roll, I know what I'm looking for. I do you feel that helped you any?
Yeah, I definitely do because, like, all right, say for instance, you know, this term white labeling, somebody might be like, hey, you know what, I want this cigar. But with me being able to roll and know, like, say for instance, originally when we first started rolling, we were doing bunching. And bunching will make the cigar, kind of heavy, but at the same time there'll be some holes in it. And then when, I learned the accordion style, like that's where the flavors might change because if you the way you lay, the tobacco, or again where I told you the wrapper that I know, like say for instance, San Andreas wrapper, it's a great wrapper. It's very, very hard to roll. It comes shriveled up. You really have to really know what you're doing. With me knowing Gomez Cigars and knowing his product, he has 1,000 sticks over in Canada. He's in India. He's in a couple other places. He's manufactured a couple. So I knew, you know, that I could put him to the test. I knew that, like I said, I knew that I didn't want a Connecticut wrapper because of how thin they are. I knew how nice, an Oscuro or a Habano feels within your fingers, and how when you get that bag, when you get that 1 pound bag of leaf, and you look at a Habano leaf, you fall in love with it. A Ecuadorian, like, I mean, so for me, I think that rolling broad in my eyes. And again, when if somebody was to say send me some samples, or I'm over at the factory and I pick up a cigar, I can feel the hollow pieces, like, oh, they didn't use enough, leaf, or if it doesn't burn right, they didn't dry out the leaf long enough. Um, or even down to learning how to cap, a big cap or a small cap. I look at a cigar, I'm like, hey, I don't want a tiny cap, because if somebody uses their cutter, they'll cut the whole cap off and the cigar will come unraveled. So I want a 1/2 inch cap, because if you do a deep V, or if you do a punch, or if you do a cut, like, that cap won't come off and their cigar won't unravel. So I really feel like that allowed me to tap in and look exactly what I wanted and know what I wanted.
So with your rolling ability and you ordering raw tobacco for rolling at events on that, have you played around with some blends yourself that you're digging that you may want to move forward with in the future?
So that's actually how the Obodo was born. The Obodo was born with me just messing around with some leaves, smelling them, seeing how I want them. So with the cigars that are already in, that's kind of how it happened. So right now, timing wise, I haven't had a chance to, but I actually did order some new leaf that I want to look around, because there's one extra one that I want to do. So you have the tribal trilogy, where you have the prince, you have the king. Of course, every king needs his queen. So the next one that I need to come out is a queen. So I really want to sit down, take my time, mess around with the leaf, smell it, and actually roll a couple where I can actually have them sampled on this side, and everybody say, hey, what, I like this, and I just basically send him the blend, because that's basically how it came about. Like, sent them the blend, and then we went from there. So, um, not sure. Like, that's probably gonna be fourth quarter, of course, next November ish. But yeah, so that's what the plan is. I have all types of leaf that I'm just gonna mess around with, especially because I have all these weddings in the summertime. They don't request certain cigars, so I'm gonna roll some cigars up, take them to my weddings, and see what those clientele end up liking, and that's gonna be the next actual the queen.
That's awesome. Now I wish somebody would invite me to one of them weddings. Look, I don't want nothing else. I'm just gonna hang over at the rolling table. I did that at one of the weddings I went to like a year and a half ago. I was like, I could care less about the wedding. I'm like, I don't know. I was just bugging the roller the whole time. I'm like, so why are you? I go, so is this your own blend that you're doing? So why are you doing this type of rolling style and not the like I was buying? I'm like, the dude's just like, dude, they're serving. He's like, they're serving the cake, and I'm like, yeah, I don't care about that.
He didn't know you were a cigar geek.
He didn't know I was a cigar geek. I think he figured it out, but I was thinking he was tired of me bugging him on all that. He just start rolling stuff, and then to get rid of me, he just started giving me. I'm like, nah, man, I'm good. I'm just putting him in my pocket. And I'll try this out. Okay, all right, yeah.
Yeah, in my past life, I was a career, like, wedding goer. I was kind of like one of those wedding crashers, but nobody had cigars at their wedding. I wish at this time, like, now cigars is a thing. Like, I wish I could be invited to a wedding that had cigars. Back then, it was just like, 360 booths and things like that. So now nobody's getting married. Everybody has kids and married. So I haven't been invited to one in a while, but cigars are definitely a thing now.
They are, but it's cool, and with the way that the culture has grown, it really, it's something that people want, and it provides a memorable experience out there. Whether you're a seasoned smoker or you're a casual smoker, it's an experience because it's just like, okay. I love watching the people who, they just never smoke, and they're like, I don't know how you like this thing. Like, oh, you're okay. Well, let me show you here on this.
Exactly, because
But
that's
it's
what
how
I
you grow. It's how the culture grows. Because maybe one out of every 10 person who doesn't smoke smokes that one stick that you did at that wedding, and it's like, I really like this. I don't know. Maybe I go find a lounge and try some stuff out.
exactly. That's what we do. It. That's what Dapper Cigar Lounge is, because I just had a wedding expo, and I was telling people from over the years what I found out. So, I end up consulting somebody, and they're like, "Oh, we only have like 10 smokers, so we want 20 cigars." You know how many weddings I've done that they ordered 20 cigars, and I'm just at the table looking real crazy because I have nothing left. So I'm like, "Listen, take your 100%, drop that down to about 70, because you're gonna have 25% smokers. You're gonna have 25% that have a loved one who smokes. They want to take the cigar home. You're gonna have 10% that wants to actually like just look at the cigar, and then you're gonna have that 10% that you're probably gonna convert, because like you said, experience. That's what we're selling. We're not selling a cigar at our lounge. We're selling an experience. Like, you know, we teach them how to cut, to the point where we teach them how to puff. We teach them, um, and sometimes if it's two of us out there, we're teaching them the leaves. So it's like you're getting a whole show, and you're getting a whole, tasting with the cigar. It's not just we're just cutting and lighting and moving along. Just like when I do my cutting and lightings, I want to tell people, sorry, this cigar has the leaf that's over, in Nicaragua, but the region in Nicaragua, that's where there's volcanoes. So the leaf in here had actually touched the lava, so that's where the spice comes from. Or the other side is where they have actually have black sand, because that's another piece where we get the spice. So I want people to just not just know like, oh yeah, it's from this place in Nicaragua and things like that, or in San Andreas, where like originally they took the seeds from Cuba and they brought them over to Mexico. Like, so this is really a Cuban cigar. Like, I'm trying to dig down deep, so you know what's going on with the cigar. You know what you're smoking.
Of course, yeah, yeah. So that rapper? It's from Mexico, from they call it the San Andreas region. You've been to Veracruz, right? Did you know that rich tobacco history there? Instead of at the resort, if you actually go into town, one of the oldest cigar manufacturers and growers is located there. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't
That's what
know
I
that.
mean. That's what I did when I went to Veracruz. I went into town. I didn't hang out at the resort because I'm like, well, why? When in Rome, I mean,
Yeah.
it was there, and I got there on I was there on one of the days when they did one of the old style curing methods, which was they had the leaves all out on hot rocks out in the back for the curing, letting the sun,
Hit it.
absorb
Yeah.
all that energy from the rocks onto the
Hmm.
leaf to cure. And they only do it a few times a year, and I happened to be there on one of the days they were doing that, and I got to experience that firsthand. It was so cool. I was like, wow, that's awesome. Like, yeah, well, we do it. We only do it. Maybe 15 to 20 times a year. So, and I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And I got to see it. Like, I've only read about it. I've never seen it in action. I got to watch, and they're like, yeah, so for the next week, these leaves are going to be out there curing on these rocks and
Wow.
absorbing all the energy. And I'm like, wow, that's awesome. That's cool. I'm just, some of those things that you read about, you'd like to see it, but you never will, and then you do, and it's like, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. It makes you appreciate the cigars a lot more as well.
Yeah, Veracruz is so underrated. Everybody wants to go to Cabo. No, you go to Veracruz, people. It's way better, especially if you're into cigars. It's way better. You get all that. And it's like, and then there's this region in Peru. They don't that grows off the mountain on the coast, and they don't water the tobacco. All of the water it gets comes in the morning when the fog rolls in off of the ocean, and
Oh
so
wow.
that's all the water that those leaves get when they do it, and you provides a different and unique flavor. Also, gives it this beautiful kind of saltiness to the leaf as well. Just an added, it's just an added bonus to it that picks up on that. Again, I'm one of these nerds that really you know likes to dig in deep and learn different growing methods and different styles out there, and it's just you know it's so beautiful. A lot of people aren't, they just like to smoke, and that's cool too. I no Nothing gets you, but me, man, if I can experience something nerdy, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, that's nice, man. So how many farms have you visited, if you can count?
So back in the day, I used to work for Reynolds Tobacco.
Mm.
Most people know Reynolds Tobacco as a cigarette manufacturer, but they had a premium. They also operated a premium line and were part of owners and distributors of cigars as well. And I worked in QA/QC, and so I traveled to a lot of the farms all over the world
Oh,
to inspect the tobacco and make sure that it was up to quality. So I've been to farms in the Dominican, farms in Mexico, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Indonesia, and then farms in the United States in Pennsylvania and the Carolinas, Maryland, Virginia,
that's amazing. Okay.
out there. So yeah, that was my introduction into the industry. Is because I started off in fulfillment, basically moving boxes and stuff. And I started smoking cigars at 18. I started working in a tobacco company at 18. And when this job came available, I applied for it. And when in my interview, I'm like, look, I don't have the experience that a lot of people do, but I know tobacco and I know leaves and I understand it. And I can tell you all about the leaves. And I can look at a leaf and I can see the story in the leaf. I can tell you if it's good or bad or what the problem is or what needs to be corrected. And so I ended up getting the job. I don't
Nice.
clearly I clearly wasn't qualified for the job, but I knew enough out there that I think that my love for the leaf was enough to get me that job. And then 3 weeks into the job, I'm on a flight to Nicaragua, and
Solid.
I'm just like, wow, this is awesome. And then I'm on this long ass bus ride to Esteli, and I'm like, I'm like, they don't have an airport at this place. No, you get on the bus and you take a long ass bus ride to there. And they're like, well, you can rent a car, but then you got to pay off the guerrilla freedom fighters on that. And if you take the bus,
Every
they
time you
leave
ride it through, yeah.
they let you right through those checkpoints. Or if you want to get there and you want to drive, you got to fly into Honduras and then cross. But then you got to pay off the border guards to get in. This way, I'm like, okay,
Just like in Nigeria.
yeah, it's like that all over the world. The only place I never got to go was to Africa, to Cameroon or Angola, and tour any of those farms. I really wish I could. It's one of those that's on my bucket list to maybe one of these days have the opportunity to go to Cameroon or Angola or Mozambique and tour the farms. I'd love to do that.
So I'm definitely going to tap into you at some point in time, knowing tobacco, because another, a 5-year plan. So my dad, of course, like I said, he's Nigerian. My dad has a green thumb, and we own a lot of land in Nigeria. Right now he has like some cassava leaf farm. He has a couple of like fish farms and things like that. So I want to see if the climate in Nigeria actually could hold some type of tobacco, because I think it would be phenomenal to have
I
some type of Nigerian tobacco. Because I mean, we have the soil, we have the enrichment, we have the seasons. Man, I think that I was talking to my dad. So I think as this tribal trilogy really expands, that's going to be a project that I'm going to work on in the next 5 years. I mean, of course, it's just like coffee seeds, it's going to take forever, but I want to try it and start it because I mean, people like you said. I mean, there's 4 and 5 places in Africa, but I mean, you have a whole continent that we haven't touched, you
yes,
know?
I know. So I know the guy who started the original farm in Mozambique,
Mm,
and his plan was to have it up and running within 10 years, and
okay.
he was able to do it in 4.
Nice.
Just because the soil was so good, and the tests that they ran, that they were able to get it going way faster than they anticipated. And so I don't see why not. I mean, it's really the areas that are not industrialized already, or industrialized by farming already, have some of the best soil in the
Yeah.
world in Africa.
Yeah.
Like, and it's untouched. And really, when you break it down, you're like, we could have this up and running, this farm up and running in 10 years. It wouldn't shock me that when you start it, you go, man, we got it in 4 or 5 years. Half the time we were able to get the farm going just because the conditions were right, and we were able to procure everything that we needed, and our tests ran perfect on it. Like, it wouldn't shock me, that you're like, yeah, man, we've got it set out. We've got our quadrant set for the next 5 years, just based on what we've done already. And like, why
Yeah.
not, man? Why not? It's out there. And to add something different, to add something in there that would be a game changer for the industry, because people want, it's hot. People want that African tobacco,
Mhm.
you know. So, and really, with there being, you know such a monopoly on what's available out there, you know, having somebody else open up and provide a little bit of competition may also lower the pricing.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, man, good sticks, dude. These they're really good.
Uh, Thank you.
I can't
Thank
I
you.
can't say that enough for the people who are watching. It's just, it's good, and of course, links to everything, if you're watching, are down in the description. I made it easy for you. All you gotta do is click it, and it'll take you right there. If you want to place an order, click that Instagram link and go shoot a DM that you want to watch, and tell Uche when you place your order, you saw him on the show. You know,
Appreciate that.
he's not
It's,
going to do anything special for you, just so helps him
no,
track
no,
on
no.
where
Actually,
it helps
actually,
him. But it helps you track on where people are coming from that are being introduced to your brand.
so actually, no. So watch out on the for the subscribers right now. Watch out on I'm gonna tag underneath the next post that we do. There'll be a code that you can use, or maybe you can just put it in yours since it's just certain subscribers. Just 505. Put 505 in there. You're gonna get 10% because 5 plus 5 is 10. You get 10% off your orders. Because one, I wouldn't have this support if it wasn't for you. These people would not know anything about Tribal Trilogy. So, my thank you to you is the 10%, and my thank you to them is also the 10%. So yeah, so you will get something. So mention 505 Cigar Review. And definitely you're gonna get 10% off of your orders. Like the first guy asked, if we have sample pack, we sell one, we sell packs of 3, 5, 10, we have boxes of 20. Um, any number you want, you can have. And every box and every package is personalized for each person who buys it. So yeah, definitely, I want you to try us. Like you said, it's a great stick. I don't like to say it because I want to hear other people say it, because, you know, if you're not a good salesman, you're not going to say your stuff is good. So, I brought it to the real deal, the people who smoke every day, who know every single thing about tobacco. And as you heard this man said, it's a good stick. And I appreciate that, because if you said it was a bad stick, I'd appreciate it too, because I need the good, the bad, and the ugly, because I'm new to the industry. um these blends were just things that I thought about, I put together, and I'm just so glad that it came to fruition and that people are liking the cigar.
Tim said it. I'm good for something, and not a whole lot, but I am good for something. So that's fact right there. And you know if you need somebody to test your hats, hit up Tim, because make sure your hats come in size bolder for his fat noggin out there. Yeah, go. So there you heard it. You shoot the DM. You tell them you saw the brand on the show, or just tell them 505, and you're going to get a discount off your order. See, look at how easy that is, right there. You get to try a really good stick. I've had two of the three, and they both bangers, bangers. I like I like this Habano better than the Maduro.
Oh, really? Okay, that's
Yeah,
good.
I do. I like this Habano way better than the Maduro. Um,
Okay.
the Maduro is really good. And again, the Maduro, the Maduro did from Brandy and I both gave it drool bucket worthy. It is a on there. So if you're a Maduro fan, it's fantastic. Um, I do prefer Habanos over San Andreas. So, but that's just my palate, me personally. I'm definitely digging the Habano way better than I am the Maduro, and the Maduro was really good. So that should tell you something right
Good to
there.
see you too, Troy. Yeah.
Yeah, right now, the Habano, it is, I got to smoke a few more of them, but I would say right now with this Habano, based upon what I've had, and I'm going to get me some more of them, it's top 10 worthy for the year right now.
Loving that. Thank you.
And I'm talking so much and my stick went out. Yeah, it was good. We did the Maduro because Brandy is a San Andreas fiend. So that was her selection on what we were going to smoke. And it was very good, but Brandy started drooling before I did. So that should tell you something about that San Andreas right there. All right. I don't pull out the bucket often for Brandy. So, you know, that right there is a sellable feature there. She's a lot tougher than I am, but there are aspects of that San Andreas that I really liked, that are really good, that are different and unique, that you really touched on, that I think a lot of manufacturers skip out. And I've noticed it. I've also noticed it with this Habano as well. That you've really put a focus on the earth tones on the cigar, which lack in a lot of sticks, where they just are going for the flavors that they know people want. They want that coffee, they want that chocolate, they want the cinnamon, they want the spice and the pepper. But you put a focus on the earth tones to be really the star on the blend in that San Andreas, and it's the same thing with this Habano. The earth tones are fantastic, like it's getting you all frothy. Mm. So if you want to get a good aspect of earth tones cigar, where that umami it's just fantastic. Like it really is. Like it's what I want in a cigar, and you've mastered that right now in the two blends I've had.
I appreciate that, man. That's what we're going for.
Mm. yeah, people go pick these up. Go. I'm interested. You know me, people. When I ask, I always want to know your opinion, and I get self conscious, and I put my palate out there on the line against anybody. Which is when Dantley asked me to curate a monthly box out there. I was freaked out because I'm like, man, I hope, I hope people like these. I put my palate on the line. I hope it doesn't bomb, but it's like everybody loved the selections that I had put into the box. So it's like, okay, I was right. All right, these are banger sticks. All right, it's just not me, but I'll put my palate on the line on this. That I really like I really like the cigars, and I really think you will too. And if you're somebody who really likes to experience the earth tones that shine in those blends, you'll like this stick.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Let me see if I can flip this just to show a little bit of the lounge. I don't
Good
know how to
evening,
flip it,
Manny. Good to see you, brother.
but so if you see like I said, I personalized the lounge. These are all different sticks. So it's the 8-seater that I'm in right now.
Oh yeah, look at that. And if you're in the DMV area, you can contact him. He'll roll up in that.
Yep. You got your own cigar lounge in your backyard, grandmother's backyard, at your baby shower, at your wedding, at your bar mitzvahs, anywhere. We're there. We're there.
Do you get requests for baby showers?
Man, listen, last year we did about 3 to 4 baby showers because, before it was a female thing, and then they started bringing males and things in, and I've had about 4 baby showers where they wouldn't even go inside because you got the sticks outside. So yeah, I mean it's something that I tapped into. I actually did more baby showers last year than I did weddings. So it's definitely a thing now because you want your baby shower to top everybody else's baby shower. Whose baby shower has a mobile cigar lounge with cigars for males and females with personalized bands? Because we do personalized bands as well. So like, you know, baby boy such and such. So it's really been a banger this year that really topped off. So
Wish I
if
would
you
have
are
had
having
this
a
for
baby,
mine. Man, I would totally have gotten one in for mine 2 years ago. 2 years ago, you would have told me, yeah, man, you could have a mobile lounge roll up to the bait. I totally would have done that. I probably would have been the only one out there. I would have been. Oh my god. Nah, we're doing. So I would have told baby mama. I would have been like, nah, we're doing the mobile lounge. All right. Okay. Hey, we're gonna have this. It's for me since I gotta be here.
exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna get something out of this. All right. You ain't gonna listen to you complain about doing all the work and everything. Yeah. Oh, I totally would have. Such a great idea. And you're all right. More men are now involved in that process with the baby showers. That you really, yeah, it really makes sense to have something for the guys because the guys don't want to do all the inside stuff.
Uh-huh.
They're just there because they got dragged there, like I did.
How's it going, man? Jim Z.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Man, this stick is so good, dude.
So
And
glad.
and this was one of your mess around sticks.
Yep, that was the one that's the root. So that's the very first one. That's the very first one that curated and finalized out of the 3 or out of the 4 now. But yep,
Dang, that's a good stick.
appreciate it.
It's a good stick. I think you got a good palate for being somebody that's a relatively newer into the culture and the industry. I think you got a really good palate.
Thanks.
You know.
It's probably those roots, man. It's probably because I'm part Jamaican and part Nigerian. So I mean, I've had just about every spice in the world. So I think that like you said, I mean that has opened me up to knowing a little bit more. And I don't like flat. I don't like bland. So I made sure it really, because when somebody told me it's kind of like making clothes, or like how the people make their shoes. Like I really made it. I made it for something I liked. I don't know what the customers like, because everybody likes what they like, but um I smoke. I mean, to the point where I can't smoke my cigars anymore because I'm burning out of the inventory. But like, I, I was smoking at least one of the line twice a day on the way to work and at the end as a nightcap, because I wanted to make sure everything was good and actually, just know the cigar. So I definitely
So
can say I stand behind these
is
ones.
the goal here eventually to this be it? No getting up and grinding it at the day job anymore. It's this. It's like, hey, from April to November, I'm rolling with the lounge, and then the rest of the year, like in like Nicaragua.
So honestly, that is the plan. So I'm 30, 31, right?
Oh, you're so
So
young. Oh my goodness,
so
you're young.
So I mean, by 50, I don't want to be working. Because with the mobile cigar lounge, if I had an event 3 times a week with the mobile cigar lounge, and then you top it off with how my first quarter was with the cigars, it could sustain. I'm a pharmacist, so it actually could sustain my pharmacist salary, and pay the bills. If I really, because like I said, I haven't really been able to give this my all. I really feel like if I gave it my all, I wouldn't have to work, honestly, because the cigars could sell itself. The lounge, I have 2 lounges now. Those are both booked. If I really got out there and advertised and really rolled around, yeah, I wouldn't have to work for anybody a day in my life. So, by 50, it's definitely going to be rolling through, like you said, the busiest times. April through November, we're going hard, and from November to April, we're in Nicaragua. We're at the farm. We're on vacation. We're you know going to trade shows and things and getting the name out there. So I definitely think that if it continues on the trajectory that it's at, in the next 5 to 10 years, I'm punching out of a pharmacist, and I'll do that on the weekends to pay my car note.
So is that you talked about the trade shows? Is that something that you're looking at in coming up here in the near future to maybe set up at a trade show to get your name out there a bit more?
2026. So
2026.
2026. Yeah. Because my goal this year is to go as a participant to at least one or two. Just to, get the lay of the land, see what things are like. But definitely 2026, I'll definitely be at one or two trade shows. I already got the prices for PCA. I mean, if I had the money, I would go, but it's like I have to have the money. I have to have the inventory.
Yeah,
I want to tighten up a few things. But yeah, 2026, you'll definitely see me at one or two.
I've talked to a lot of the small brands that like at PCA, and they always said the first PCA they had zero expectations. They knew that they were going to take the L on all the product they were going to have to eat to in samples to give out. But year two was when people are going to remember me. They remember because a lot of those brands year two, or a lot of the retail shops year two, what they do, they came in and they went, "Yeah, I remember you from last year, and yeah, you had a great stick," and now all of a sudden, yeah, we want to get you in. I couldn't remember your brand, or I lost your card, but I'm glad you're here because I remember you from last year. That was the thing, because I've talked to brands who are like, ah, man, you know, the fee on the booth plus losing about 10 grand in product having to give away in sales or in samples, and then I only made 2 sales. It's like, yeah, but year two is when people are going to remember you and they're going to come back. And it's like, I don't think I'm going to go back, because I'm like, that's the wrong mindset. You got to be in that mindset of knowing that year one, I'm probably not going to make any sales. and eat a ton of I'm gonna eat a ton of inventory and samples. But year two, they're gonna remember me, and they're gonna fill fill their shelves with my product, and that's usually how it goes. Is that those brands I've seen them take off year two. You know, where they're like, yeah, I made that investment, and it was an investment I was willing to make. Very rarely do I see new brands go in year one and they crush it, but it does happen. It does happen. So, but I think your product speaks for itself. So
I appreciate it.
I don't think you'd have a problem. Once people have the opportunity to smoke, and it's always that after 30 days after PCA when retail shops are calling, because now they're smoking your stick after they've gotten back and they've had the chance to go, all right, we've got these sticks that we got, all right, let's see here, we've got some filler space in the shelves, let's
Mhm.
smoke them, let's see if any of these we can bring in.
Yeah.
So you're going to be in New Orleans this year as just wandering around taking in the landscape?
Nah, I can't shake that this year.
Okay.
I can't shake that this year. Have a couple people going. So I'll probably do some virtual tours and stuff like that, but definitely later on.
All right, I'll be there if anybody else is going. Look for me, I'll be out there on the sales floor, wandering around with my big old backpack that y'all make fun of me with. Excellent, man. Great stick. If you want to connect with Uche and Tribal Trilogy, down in the description, I've got everything him down there. All you got to do is click it. Takes you right there. I made it simple. If you want to place an order, shoot him a DM over on Instagram or send him an email through the Dapper Cigar Lounge website, and make sure you name drop me that you saw him on my show to get that 10% discount off your order. That's awesome. Uche, I hand it over to you. Anything you'd like to promote or close with? The floor is
Yeah.
yours.
So I appreciate you having me on the show as this second time. I enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed the stick. Like I said, we have four different cigars. Uh, we have the Omoleche, which is the Prince, meaning beauty. We have the Ukoma, which is our Maduro San Andreas wrapper. And when you open up the wrapper, you'll see it has a long tail, a little bit different than the has a horse tail. Then we have the Obudo, which is one of my favorites, has the Habano Claro wrapper. And then the one both of us were smoking today, the Ubaji this is our wrapper. And that's also Habano. So we have medium, we have mild plus, medium full, and then we have bold. We have apparel as well. Hats, shirts, basically anything that you want the logo on, we have. And again, I have two mobile cigar lounges, a 28-footer. It has 8 theater style seats, 2 TVs, surround sound music. It's good for tailgates, weddings, parties at your house, anything. Then we have a 32-footer, which seats 13, big screen TV in the front. That's basically the upscale one, so weddings, bridal parties, bachelor parties. Just the other day, I did a birthday party from Virginia to DC. The cigar, like I said, I'm brand new. We started in November. We hit the ground running. We're in 7 shops in the DMV, from Fredericksburg, Virginia, all the way to Luxby, Maryland. We are a boutique brand by nature. Our cigars are manufactured in Estili, Nicaragua. Um, every cigar has the same. If you open up 5 from the pack, you're gonna get the same exact thing. Construction is great. I love the sticks. I stand behind them. We have a 100% guarantee. So if your stick unravels, make sure you holler at me and you'll get a new stick, because I'm behind my product. And I really appreciate you having me on the show. I appreciate all of the viewers. We love you. hopefully I'll be back. Hopefully I'll be back with one of the other cigars, or hopefully I'll just be back, and I'll be seeing you at a trade show. I'll be seeing you at the next cigar week. If I'm not sponsoring or selling, I'll be patronizing, but you will see me with the Tribal Trilogy, man. If you do so happen to grab a stick, hashtag is choose your tribe. So I'd love for you to post the pictures, tag us. And like I said before, I need the raw, I need the negative, I need the positive, because this is a venture that, we just started into, and we want to go far. So I had somebody who told me that the stick, ran harsh. I'm not really sure how that happened. I think that he had it in the wrong humidor, but that's something I have to take. So I don't just want all the positive. And I appreciate everybody who is purchasing. And if you look at my website, the cigars end with a 19, because we're gonna actually, the 19 cents off, in the mid-year in June, we're gonna go ahead and pick a charity to actually donate 19 cents off of each purchase. Not sure what the charity is going to be yet, but I want to pour back into the community. Again, I'm from inner city Baltimore, where rec centers have gone down. So there's things that I want to pour into and give back to the community. And if you look into the names, like I said, the names, all of them have meaning. Everything behind this stick has something to do with me, my life, my community, and we're just trying to build our tribe one smoker at a time. So thank you, and I appreciate everything. I appreciate the love, the support, and I appreciate you having me on the show, man. I had a great time.
Appreciate you coming on, everybody. Thank you guys in the chat. You guys crushed it as always. Never
Thank you.
doubt you guys out there. No show next week, but we'll be back on the 7th before I head off to New Orleans and PCA with Miss Wanda Hernandez from Sticks and Stones Cigars. I'm looking forward to talking to her. Big personality, so I expect all my mi gentes to show up, as she would say, and shout out for Wanda, because she does a great job. And that's it. Again, you can get that 10% discount off from Uche himself by shooting a DM on Instagram or over on or an email through the Dapper Cigar Lounge website. And coming shortly will be available in the Black Box store. So when that goes live, of course, I'm going to push you guys over to Black Box, because I love Dantley and everything Black Box has done for me. They're a great they're a great retail partner. So that's it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much. We will see you in 2 weeks. Take care. Be safe out there. Don't do
Thank
anything
you.
Uchi and I wouldn't do, because we're sweet and innocent boys. And we will see y'all later, everybody.